All right, welcome back to Second Opinion. We want to do a new series about AI and pitch decks. There'll probably be a few episodes on this topic because I think it's so important to all of our clients, to basically everyone who's building a startup pitch deck today. This question comes up in almost every project, and there's a lot of different answers to it. There's a lot of nuance, but at this point in time, we've been kind of at the heart of this AI boom in a way. We've met a lot of the companies working on these different types of products or integrating AI into their products. So we have a lot of thoughts, we have a lot of guidance to give.
Yeah, I think a lot of the experts and a lot of the investors and startup people that we talk to definitely kind of look at this technological moment as more akin to the internet than any other advancements that have happened kind of in the interim period.
Yeah.
With, just like the internet, AI having the potential to be truly ubiquitous across a wide range of industries and a wide range of how we solve problems. Similar to kind of the internet days, there were companies out there that were, solving for the underlying rails of how the internet was used and, built upon. There were also companies like Pets.com that, had non-internet use cases that they were able to benefit from the hype around the space. And, a lot of companies today fall, somewhere in between. And, so we do tend to look at companies in one of three buckets today. One, being the underlying infrastructure, the rails, how are we, building tools that will enable future innovation in the AI space more broadly.
Yep.
Those being akin to kind of the Googles and the other internet companies of once before. Then the majority of people kind of fall within this spectrum of enabled by AI. Where the solution is solved in a way that's very core to the tools and tactics of AI today. And then there's a large swath of companies that are just made better by AI, and I think Mark and I and Deck Doctors fall within that bucket.
Sure.
In some respects, we use AI here and there. So within that broad spectrum, there's a few different kind of recommendations of things to explore when you're crafting your pitch based on how you want to introduce AI, and let's go through a few of them today.
All right, so the great thing about that framework, and I couldn't agree more about AI being akin to the internet, is it's good guardrails for how much AI should be in your deck. I don't want to focus on the foundational AI companies today. Let's talk about the majority of pitches, which are either AI enabled or they're benefiting from this. So let's go through a few ways, better than just a single AI slide, that you can improve your pitch if you're one of those companies by mentioning AI. So the first thing you can do is show the old world in your problem statement. If you want to come in as this, innovator that's using AI to make something new possible, you're going to want to show an old way of doing things before AI. So oftentimes showing the history of your industry is a really good way of doing this. Here's how it worked in 1990. Here's how it worked in 2000. Here's how it worked in 2010. And then guess what? Now we can have a new paradigm. So almost like focusing on the world before AI is a really great way of setting up a story that's AI enabled.
Way number two is really looking at it from a customer-specific lens. A lot of companies that we work with identify solutions that are only made possible by very expensive manual labor, expensive teams, very expensive enterprise technology.
Yep.
And oftentimes we're talking about how do we take a lot of that value that's being solved for top-of-the-market customers and bring it down to the mid-market and to the ultimate long tail of the market. And so understanding how does AI impact the cost of solving a problem for a customer, and making certain things that were previously not possible is another way in.
Some other important ones that are less discussed is about differentiation and why competitors won't eat your lunch, as well as kind of tailwinds. So let's start there.
We see this question all the time. Founders come to us saying that investors looked at their pitch and said, why wouldn't OpenAI or Google or Microsoft just completely eat their lunch? And this is a really good question to ask yourself, because I think we have seen a lot of Apple product releases, other types of companies releasing large new features that have taken out a swath of early stage AI building companies. So first things first, you need to think about that from a business perspective. But in terms of how we communicate it, a lot of times a really savvy investor will see that solving a vertical specific problem or something that's really tailored to a customer is something that the infrastructure players are not going to want to spend time or money on. yes, it's true. If there is a good opportunity, and Apple or Google may, kind of jump into that market. But there's going to be a lot of opportunities in the space, and they can't jump into every single market. So
Yep.
as long as you can talk about how over time you're able to build a moat with existing customers, then you can kind of quell fears that a Google or an OpenAI may eat your lunch on something that's too vertical specific or too customer specific for them to waste their time and resources on.
So finally, we want to talk about a classic Tailwind slide. I think this shows up in a lot of pitch decks, but I love bringing AI into the story. For many products, you can tell a strong story about your margins improving over time due to AI. You can talk about the benefit of your product increasing with having a multiplier effect because of AI. So one place to bring this into the story is not taking too much credit for it now, but basically explaining that you'll continue to be a beneficiary of advancements in the space or advancements in the tech because of how it fits into your product. This feels very reasonable. You're not claiming too big of a role in it. You're not saying there's going to be this immediate thing, but hey, guess what? We're benefiting from it today. We'll benefit from it more tomorrow. I think investors want to know that you're thinking that way and basically are positioned to reap improvements that will likely come in the coming years.
We're all living in this new world, and just like AI, the possibilities here are completely endless. We certainly don't claim to be gurus or know it all in terms of the opportunities or the possibilities for how you want to socialize with investors. Heck, we even used ChatGPT to write this entire script. So we wanted to share a couple of our learnings, a few things that we've picked up along the way, working on a lot of decks. We'll be back for more on the next episode with some tactical examples of how some of our clients and some people that we know have worked with introducing AI into their pitch decks and compelling investors to get behind their ideas.